Have you ever watched the person you love become a stranger right before your eyes? The screen of her phone cast a pale blue glow on her face in the 2 a.m. darkness of our Chicago bedroom. Her thumb moved in a frantic, secret dance I'd never seen before. She thought I was asleep. She was wrong. I saw the ghost of a smile, a flicker of private joy that wasn't for me. It was a simple moment, but it was the one that pulled the first thread, unraveling the entire tapestry of our 10-year marriage. She had no idea that the quiet man lying next to her was about to become a ghost, haunting the ruins of her future. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from, what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. It started with the little things, late nights at the office that never quite added up. The scent of a cologne I didn't own clinging to her coat. Jessica, my wife, had always been ambitious, a rising star at a downtown marketing firm, but this was different. A new energy buzzed around her, a nervous, electric hum. When I'd ask about her day, the answers became vague, polished summaries instead of the vibrant, detailed stories she used to tell. She started guarding her phone like it was a state secret, angling the screen away from me, a casual, almost unconscious gesture that felt like a slap. One evening, I came home early to surprise her and found her on the phone, her voice a low, intimate murmur. The second she saw me, her face hardened. "It's just work," she snapped, her tone cold and sharp, ending the call abruptly. The warmth we once shared was evaporating, replaced by a chilling fog of polite distance. She was there, but she was gone. The discovery wasn't a single explosion. It was a slow, agonizing burn. A credit card bill left on the kitchen counter revealed the truth in black and white. A charge for two at a ridiculously expensive restaurant on a night she claimed to be working late. Then, a hotel receipt from the Langham, just off the Chicago River, tucked into the pocket of her winter coat. A room for two. My heart hammered against my ribs. The final piece fell into place when I used our shared tablet, still logged into her email. An entire thread, a nauseating back and forth with a man named Mark from her office. They weren't just emails. They were blueprints of their affair. Details of their nights, inside jokes, plans for a future that didn't include me. They talked about me, they pitied me. The loyal, predictable husband. Reading those words was like swallowing glass. The man she was describing wasn't me, was a caricature, a fool she was stringing along. The humiliation was a physical weight, pressing down on my chest until I could barely breathe. Jessica and Mark felt untouchable. They moved through their shared world with a smug confidence that was infuriating. I saw him once, at her company's holiday party. He was exactly as I'd pictured. Slicked back hair, an expensive watch, and a smile that never quite reached his eyes. He shook my hand, his grip firm, his gaze holding mine for a second too long. "Good to finally meet the man behind the legend," he said, a subtle mockery in his voice that only I could understand. Jessica just laughed, a high, brittle sound, and looped her arm through his. In that moment, standing in a crowded room on North Michigan Avenue, I had never felt more alone. They were a team, and I was the obstacle. The night ended with me in my car, parked by the lakefront, the city lights blurring through a haze of tears. The breakdown was silent, a complete shattering of the man I thought I was. The love I had for her curdled into something cold and hard. It was in that cold, dark car that the grief finally gave way to a quiet, burning rage. The plan began to form. My first call wasn't to a friend. It was to the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a man known for his ruthless, surgical precision in the courtroom. I sat in his sterile, high-rise office overlooking Millennium Park, laying out the evidence I had started to secretly gather. I installed a keylogger on our home computer, capturing every damning chat. I recovered deleted photos from her cloud backup smiling selfies of her and Mark, clinking champagne glasses in a hotel room I was paying for. I even hired a private investigator who delivered a thick manila envelope filled with glossy 8x10s of them kissing in a dimly lit parking garage. Their figures stark against the concrete. Each piece of evidence was a nail in the coffin of her betrayal. My attorney, a shark in a $1,000 suit, looked at the pile of proof on his mahogany desk and gave me a slow, predatory smile. "She won't know what hit her," he said, and he was right. Jessica had no idea I had already spoken to a divorce attorney. She was still playing her game, oblivious that I had already changed all the rules. The trap was set. Jessica's parents were celebrating their 40th anniversary with a huge party at a lavish banquet hall in the suburbs. Her entire family, all her friends, her work colleagues, everyone would be there. It was the perfect stage. A week before the party, I accidentally left my laptop open to a fake email chain I had created, detailing a massive can't-miss investment opportunity that required a significant, immediate cash injection. I knew Jessica's greed. I watched from a hidden camera as she took the bait, secretly photographing the screen with her phone. The next day, she came to me with a rehearsed speech about needing to borrow a large sum from our joint savings for a family emergency. I played the part of the concerned, supportive husband and transferred the money, every last cent, into an account that only I controlled. She thought she was robbing me blind. In reality, she was funding her own destruction. The night of the party was cinematic. Jessica was radiant in a new dress, the one she'd bought with the money she thought she'd stolen. She floated around the room, accepting compliments, the queen of her own little world. Mark was there, of course, her work friend. The moment came during the toasts. I stood up, microphone in hand, a glass of champagne raised. Started by talking about love, about loyalty, about the sanctity of marriage. The room was silent, hanging on my every word. Jessica beamed at me, a proud, unknowing smile on her face, and then I turned to her. But some people, I said, my voice dropping, see marriage not as a sacrament, but as a convenience. On a massive projector screen behind me, a slideshow began. The first image was a photo of Jessica and Mark kissing in that parking garage. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The next slide was a screenshot of their emails, their cruel words about me magnified for all to see. Jessica's face went white. The final slide was a bank statement, showing the massive withdrawal she had made, next to a document from my attorney, labeling it as fraudulent transfer of marital assets. The room was dead silent. Her father's face was a mask of fury. Her mother was openly weeping. Jessica just stood there, frozen, as her entire world burned to the ground around her. She was utterly ruined. Socially, she was a pariah. Her family disowned her. Her friends vanished. At work, she was fired. The public scandal too much for the company's image. The divorce was brutal and swift. Armed with the mountain of evidence, my attorney dismantled her. She got nothing. The house, the savings, her reputation all gone. The last time I saw her, she was leaving the courtroom on a rainy Chicago afternoon. Her face pale and drawn, her designer clothes looking like a costume she no longer had the right to wear. There was no triumph in that moment, no joy, just a vast, hollow emptiness. The revenge was complete, but the victory felt like ashes in my mouth. I sold the house and moved out of the city, seeking quiet. Sometimes late at night, I think about that moment, the blue light of her phone on her face, the beginning of the end. The love is gone, the anger has faded, and all that remains is the chilling silence of a life I never asked for. The end.